Welcome back to the Garrett Ashley Mullet Show. I am, of course, your host, intrepid, yours truly, Garrett Ashley Mullet, coming from Greeley, Colorado. I hear through the grapevine that there is a new Tom MacDonald music video out. It just dropped about an hour ago. I'm not a huge Tom MacDonald fan, but I have really enjoyed his music since I was introduced to it. He's doing something that I don't hear anybody else doing, and it's nothing if not interesting and thought-provoking. You got to give him that. So I've not watched this video. I'm going to watch it. We're going to do a reaction video. I'm new to this whole reaction video thing, so in the comments section, please be gentle. But I know you're going to like this video. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe now before we get into it, in case you forget, you get distracted. You're not going to want to forget, so go ahead and do it now. I know you're going to like it. And let's jump right in.
I love the earth, but I don't really want to save it. Everything is sexist, homophobic, or it's racist. When life gives us lemons, we're supposed to want to change it. But my generation rather take some pills than escape it. Say that I'm transphobic if you wanna, but one day I'll be a father. And I really hope my son don't grow up to be my daughter. I ain't trying to hurt you.
Densely packed, nutrient rich. I don't agree with his fashion choice. That's not me. As you can see, no face tattoos, no tattoos at all. I'm a homeschooled kid from eastern Montana. Homeschool father of 7 with an 8th on the way. So we have some stylistic differences. But that said, I can get with what he's saying here. It's densely packed, rapid fire, but good so far.
Feeling skin should be a little thicker, that's the problem. Being honest got them triggered. The kids are getting weaker because they're sheltered by society. Pumpkin spice Ativan for seasonal anxiety. Wokeness has become a way to bully non-violently and cancel everyone without improving on the life we lead. Without the white, there's no black. Without the straight, there's no gay. Without the men, there's no women. Without the night, there's no day. Without the idiots, we couldn't laugh at them when they fall. So maybe.
Well, that's not very nice. Also, the whole black. I'm sorry. I'm going to pick on his aesthetics. I think he's tough enough. He can take it. All y'all that adore him uncritically, I think you guys, you've got thicker skin than I'm going to destroy by saying the whole contact lenses blacked out. I know D. Antwoord does the same thing. I think it's weird. I think it's creepy. D. Antwoord, South African rap group, husband, wife. When they do it, they get like almost downright demonic about it. I think Tom here, he's trying to instigate everything he's doing. He's trying to instigate. He's trying to get under the skin of the folks who are so fragile. Everything offends them. Everything's offensive. It's not even enough to be put off by actual, like, real aggressions. Microaggressions. They came up with something to accuse people of because they're so oversensitive. But you can't call them oversensitive because that's a microaggression.
Maybe we need them after all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Hey, yo! I guess you love to be wrong, or you don't have the guts of the boss. Hey, yo! Dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum. I love the earth, but I don't really want to save it. Everyone's obsessed with making stupid people famous. If a white boy raps, then it's called appropriation. But Beyonce does her hair blonde, and people say she's slave.
Okay. Sometimes I wonder about Tom. Tom, if you're listening, feel free to comment. And I could be totally wrong. And I want to be wrong. I do. And I don't want to say this because I dislike what you're saying. I like what you're saying. Sometimes tone, I can't get with, but the content, the substance of your remarks, I agree with and I applaud. I love that you're saying most of the things that you're saying, even if sometimes I would encourage you to maybe be less of an instigator, maybe just a little bit less. I know you're laying it on thick, and I get it. But sometimes I wonder if it wouldn't be better to key in on like one of these things in a track and really expand on it. Maybe you do in some of your other music. I know Fake Woke plays in my head every now and then. It just like, it's very catchy. Your music is very listenable, very attention getting, right? But sometimes I wonder if it's too rapid fire, too many things, like one thing and the next and the next and the next. It's ADD, right? It's ADHD. One thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And hey, okay, maybe that's where we're at. Maybe that's who we are as a people, the online culture. I'm going to click in for 2 seconds. If I'm not loving it in 2 seconds, I'm out, right? We need longer attention spans. And so there's this fine line between, do we get those longer attention spans by creating content that people are going to pick up and grab and just kind of like slowly building people up in their attention spans? I don't know. Maybe I'm losing you, but that's just a thought that I have. If it's useful to you, by all means, run with it.
Everybody's outraged, everybody's mad. Our solutions to the issues don't make no sense. If stairs are the problem, we build wheelchair ramps. We don't cancel feet or persecute the people with legs. The feminists who started the movement would be ashamed of so many things. They fought so you can vote. I show your butthole on OnlyFans. I'm not a bad person because you don't like what I say.
Okay. And this is what I mean. This is why I'm going to have to pause it to do some reaction here. There's a lot there. There's a lot there to think on. One of the things he said is that we don't cancel people with legs just because there are people with wheelchairs. We might build a wheelchair ramp to make handicap accessible buildings that otherwise, we're discriminating against those people if we build a whole bunch of long, tall stairs that they're going to have a hard time getting up. We don't cancel stairs. We don't cancel people with legs just because there are people in wheelchairs. So when it comes to this whole discrimination, so-called ableist, okay, what's the difference between that and the way that we're approaching heterosexuality, for instance, where you've got to affirm, you must affirm homosexuality, transgenderism, gender fluidity, all of this stuff, weird pronouns, you've got to call people whatever they want to be called. Why are we canceling people who are saying, okay, I have liberty too, and I'm going to use my liberty to affirm the fact that I was born this gender, and I'm happy about that. And it's a good thing, and gender is a good thing. And it's not just a social construct. It's a biological reality, God-given, God-ordained for a good purpose, and I embrace that. No. Coexist until some of the people you've got to coexist with who you thought you were lecturing start saying they're going to use their liberty in a different way, very different way. So that's one thing. Another thing he mentions here is a lot of the original feminists would be absolutely shocked and appalled. I don't know that that's true, but I do know that some feminists who've been around for decades have been not loving the whole LGBTQ plus stuff because some of this logical progression of everything's a social construct and it's all got to be deconstructed, some of that actually erodes gains that feminists worked so hard for decades to achieve. So for instance, somebody identifies as a female, but they were born a biological male, and now they've got a objective, undeniable advantage in athletics over girls. But what do the feminists do, right? Do they affirm transgender persons playing girls' sports, being in girls' locker rooms? How far do they go with this? But if they, and some of them have, some of the outspoken ones that were popular decades ago, they've spoken out against this stuff and they get canceled. And because they're not cool anymore. It's not cool. It's not enough to be feminist anymore. you got to be LGBTQ plus ally.
Call me homophobic just because I think straight. I love people even though we disagree. I wish we could get Wi-Fi signals from a tree. Then everyone would plant them and we'd probably save the planet for free. Too bad we only need them to breathe.
That's true.
Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Hey, yo! I guess you love to be wrong, or you don't have the guts of the balls. Hey, yo! Dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum. I love the earth, but I don't really want to save it. Classifying people by their sex and race degrades them, but we still say straight white males are the worst of our population. Guess the labels are okay if they're Caucasian. Our kids are living in their rooms, I swear we barely ever see them. Go outside sometime, there's fresh air you could be breathing. Put your phones down, play sports, do something illegal. Go and meet your families, they're probably nice people. These days.
All right, so this one's going to have a disclaimer, because this father of 7 with an 8th on the way doesn't want his 14-year-old, 13-year-old, 11-year-old, 10-year-old, soon to be 8-year-old, 5-year-old, and 3-year-old singing some of these lyrics. But that said, there's a lot of kids that are growing up and they're being raised by YouTube. And if I'm not careful, my kids can be those kids too, homeschooled or not homeschooled. When kids are being raised by YouTube, a lot of them are getting some really catastrophic ideas that there's no future for them. There's nothing to look forward to. Previous generations looked forward to growing up, probably getting married, maybe not, but probably getting married, to a person of the opposite gender, having children, having a career, having a life, going to church. Previous generations of Americans, that was what they were expecting for decades. And as modern technologies made lifespans on average longer, they expected to do it for more decades. And now we've got a snap back to where kids in the public schools and kids who watch TV or movies or look at magazines covers in the grocery stores or spend their day on YouTube and Netflix and TikTok, they're being told that we've got 12 years according to AOC. I don't know, that's probably an out-of-date estimate, 11 years. Maybe we've got 120 years now that Biden's president. I don't know. But don't have kids. And also, heterosexuality is not cool. You want to be cool? You're an 11-year-old girl who's not interested in boys yet because you're 11. Be lesbian. Be transgender. And you'll get parades and a whole month of the year in which people celebrate you. And otherwise, we're so nihilistic and self-absorbed that nobody is giving anybody else attention. It's all me, 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 me. And it is dumb. Like the tone of this, you can say what you want about how attractive or not attractive this aesthetic is and how offensive he's being. But to be honest, which is more offensive? The face tattoos, the braids, the pink jumpsuit, grabbing himself. I mean, is that more offensive than very serious, well-dressed people with clean skin, with nice hair, very politely lying to us day in and day out, every time we turn on the TV, every time we turn on a movie, every time we show up to some official event where leadership is going to tell us how things are going to be? Corporations, academia, politics. I think you could make an argument, and I would be inclined to agree with it, that this is actually more virtuous than that, because it's upfront and honest and not duplicitous, not, at least as far as I know. I could be wrong. This could all be a front. I don't think it is, but it could be. But it's not two-faced. It's not packaging a whole lot of BS in a plate of brownies and then bringing it to your front door. Welcome to the neighborhood. Here's some poopy brownies for everybody to eat. I mean, there's a virtue to saying this is garbage. And if you believe this, you're foolish. Proverbs in the Old Testament of the Bible says, whoever hates reproof is stupid. Stupid. When people are uncorrectable because everything's a microaggression and you dare not hurt their precious fifis with objective reality, with facts, what else can you conclude about that culture, about that mindset, about that becoming the zeitgeist, except that it's dumb? And anybody who subscribes to that, especially uncritically, is dumb, stupid. You hate reproof. You hate being corrected. And so you signed on to this. Back to Tom.
You're a Nazi if you don't hate the police. They say that white folks think all Asian people are Chinese. I'm sorry, what kind of white people you mean? English, Scottish, German, Swedish, or Greek? And Black Lives Matter was problematic. It excludes anyone without the pigment. It's automatic. I understand all the reasons it happened, but including all humans is the actual answer.
Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Hey, yo! I guess you love to be wrong, or you don't have the guts of the balls. Hey, yo! Dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum dum.
That's it. That's that. That's a wrap. No pun intended, or was it intended? You decide. If you think I'm off base, please, by all means, leave a comment down below and tell me specifically why. You get some people commenting on YouTube, and like this guy, this joker this morning, he commented on some other video I just dropped, and he said, I have a hard time taking you seriously. Go on. Continue. This is not constructive unless you're going to give me some more details than that. It's just you being a mean girl online guy, MMA fighter. Anyway, hit subscribe if you like this content. Check out some of my other videos. I comment on everything. I also have a podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Spotify. Anchor FM is where I host from, but I've got a WordPress site, thegarrettashleymulletshow.com. Check it out. Hit subscribe. Listen in. I talk about everything because my name is Garrett Ashley Mullet, and I want to talk about everything. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. As always, until next time, God bless.